Hey guys, how you doing? So today I got something that I think is pretty cool. I was able to get a friend of mine, Phil Johnson, to get his drone out and come do some aerial shots of me figure eighting, showing you guys some tips on what I feel is the way to do a proper figure eight, and that will be more efficient. You know, this year I did a ton of trolling, didn't do that much casting, and you know, being third in the boat on most days when we are casting, I very rarely catch the most fish, unless they're in real specific patterns. And you know, just kind of how important the figure eight is. And if you're not doing it every single cast, you're missing fish. For me, this past year, 100% of the muskies that I caught were in the figure eight. Like I said, I did a ton of trolling. I'm usually throwing lures from the back of the boat that are kind of the search lure, you know, the lures that aren't the pattern. But this year, every single muskie I caught casting was in the figure eight. And it doesn't matter, you know, the majority of the fish that I catch in the eight, I don't see coming. I do fish some stained waters, you know, clearer water fish will stalk from a further distance. But, you know, for the most part, these fish are kind of stalking from down below, and it's really important to maintain good figure eight discipline while you're figure eighting, you know, because a lot of the fish, like I said, a lot of the fish that you catch in the figure eight, you don't necessarily see right away, at least in the waters that I fish. So we'll get into it, and I hope you guys enjoy. So in this first clip, what you're going to want to look for is how I set myself up coming into the figure eight. For me, I just do a big oval 90% of the time. I don't do an actual eight. But setting yourself up to come into the eight is almost as important as executing a good figure eight. And so what I want you to look for is what I'm doing with my lure. You know, in the pool, I'm limited on space, so it's maybe, you know, 10 feet from the rod where I'm doing this. On the water, I would start this move maybe 20 to 15 feet from the boat. And what I'm going to do is make a real hard angle change to my right, and then followed up by another hard angle change to my left that will then bring my lure coming in from my left, coming into the figure eight, because I feel most comfortable starting my eight to the right when I get the opportunity. So pay attention to that in this clip, that I'm making angle changes away from the boat. The reason I am doing this is because as much fun as it is, there's two reasons actually. As much fun as it is to catch fish in the figure eight, you can get a better hook set when a fish surprises you away from the boat. So by him hitting 20 feet from the boat, I feel, you know, the majority of novice fishermen are going to get a better hookup 20 feet from the boat than 20 inches from your feet. But even more important than that is that I don't want that hit to come in what, you know, me and a couple other guys call the handcuff zone. That handcuff zone is that area maybe 10 to 5 feet from the boat where you literally have nowhere to go when a fish eats. If that fish comes up and nips 5 feet from the boat, it's very difficult to hook that fish because you got nowhere to go with your hook set. So keep that in mind. That's why you want to do some angle changes about 20 feet from the boat to try to trigger that strike. And then after I finish those angle changes, I always speed up to come into my eight and then maintain that speed in the eight while I'm daytime fishing. Nighttime fishing is different. We'll talk about that in a little bit. So let's get into this first clip. Alright guys, so what I want you to do now on this next clip is pay attention as I come into the 8 at how sharp of an angle I'm making with the L. The L is that 90-degree turn you're making directly at your feet. A lot of strikes come there, so it's very important to do that well and to be ready for a hit. So I'll play a quick clip of a figure eight, but pay attention particularly to how I'm making that initial angle change coming into the eight. So now I'll show you the exact same clip again, but here I want you to pay attention more to the corners and the big turns that I'm making. I'm making as big of a turn as humanly possible, because every time I'm figure eighting, I'm assuming the biggest fish in the lake is under my lure and I can't see it. And if I've got a mid 50-inch fish that's below my lure and I can't see him, I've got to do big turns to allow that fish to stay on the lure. So it becomes very important to make big turns and maintain speed through your turns. You can get technical later in varying speed within your figure eights, within your ovals. For now, we're not going to really get too much into speed variances. I want this to be more basic on how to actually just figure eight properly. So a way to pay attention, how I explain it a lot in the boat when I'm fishing with new anglers, or a lot of anglers who just can get better at figure eighting, and that is, once you see how big corners I make, say on the first two clips where you're seeing how I'm making big loops, pay attention to my left arm. My left arm, once I get to my right and start to make my first turn of the eight, my right arm completely locks out, and then I never break that angle until I get back in coming along my feet. And another thing I want you to pay attention to, and this is something I see a lot of anglers make mistakes, and that's very good anglers too, guys who've caught hundreds and hundreds of muskies. I see this a lot, is guys don't bring their lure to the boat. What I mean by that, obviously I'm in a pool, but bringing the lure to my feet when I make that L, and I'm running my lure along the side of the boat, in this case the pool, as close as I can, because my arms are only so long. I can only reach as far as I can reach. So the closer you bring that lure to you in the figure eight, the bigger turn you can make by extending as far as possible on that turn, by locking that left arm and letting your body's, the motion of your arms kind of dictate how far you can swing. So you can get a bigger turn. The closer you bring that lure to you, the better. All right, guys, I hope that video helped. I don't want to get too long. It already was getting kind of long, so we're going to save the rest of it for tomorrow. I'll get into some more details on speed changes, hanging a bait, nighttime especially, because a figure eight to me is always different at night than it is during the day. Changing depths on your figure eight. We'll get a little more technical tomorrow so this doesn't get too long. Thank you for watching. Please like this or share this or comment, tell me it's awesome, tell me it sucks, whatever. So, all right, guys, I hope you have a good day, and I will see you soon. Bye.